Gavin Newsom just woke up in a nightmare. This is one where his lies are collapsing, Jon Voight's warning just came true, and the American people are finally getting paid. You heard that right, guys. President Trump just signed the bill that not only delivers immediate financial relief for hardworking Americans, but it also sends a crystal clear message to the political elites that the days of deception are over. And right as this economic bombshell drops, Jon Voight, he goes nuclear. I mean, I'm talking full on, no holds barred, truth torching fury aimed straight at Gavin Newsom's throat. Now, if you guys thought that his first rant was brutal, oh, you ain't heard nothing yet. So here's the part no one expected. This bill, this exact moment, it exposes every lie, every smear, every prediction the media made about President Trump's economy as being dead wrong. So stick with me because in the next couple of minutes, guys, we're going to break down exactly how this bill got passed, how Americans are already seeing money hit their pockets and their bank accounts, and why Gavin Newsom is already getting called out by not just conservatives, but by his own state. Oh, and if you thought Jon Voight's last rant went viral, wait until you hear what he said after the bill passed. So all I can say is we're talking, he went scorched earth. Let's go ahead and break it down. Oh, if you guys appreciate the daily news updates, please take a second, hit the like button for the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for your support, guys. So just weeks ago, the streets of Los Angeles erupted in chaos, anti-ICE protests, open defiance of law enforcement, sheriffs overwhelmed, and where was Gavin Newsom? Anybody see Gavin Newsom? Oh, he was trying to sue his way into control of Trump's National Guard troops. That's right. Well, that move blocked. A judge literally stepped in and sided with the federal government. Now, clearly this judge backstabbed Gavin Newsom, or at least based on what he thought he was going to be able to get away with. Sheriffs, mayors, even courtrooms are now turning on him. The mask has slipped. Gavin Newsom, once framed as America's future, now, not so much. I think more accurately is Gavin Newsom is like a walking embarrassment at this point. And right as this firestorm raged across LA, Jon Voight stepped up, calling him exactly what he is, nothing but a lying dog. Now that quote didn't just go viral. It defined Gavin's fall. It was emotional, it was brutal, and honestly, undeniably true. Comment down, let me know, guys. Is Gavin a lying dog? Y'all let me know. Let's talk about the lies for a second, okay? Newsom stood in front of cameras blaming President Trump for the unrest, right? While secretly begging the feds for help. He told Californians that he had it under control, yet quietly submitted legal filings for emergency intervention. He claimed Trump's policies were making things worse, yet the cities with the most violence were the same ones enforcing sanctuary laws. Repeat offenders, illegal migrants, arrested, released, and reoffended, and in multiple cases linked to violent assaults during these protests. So this is exactly what happens when spin meets reality and loses. Gavin Newsom clearly lied, Trump delivered, but stick with me because Jon Voight doesn't just repeat his warning. He actually goes nuclear. So you thought Jon Voight was done after calling Gavin Newsom a lying dog? Oh, no. Guys, this was just round one because President Trump, he signed the new economic relief bill into law. Jon Voight didn't just react, he detonated. In a fresh social media blast that's making the rounds faster than wildfire in a California drought, Voight doubled down on Gavin Newsom's incompetence, calling him a disgrace to leadership, called him a fraud who ignored the cries of working people and a puppet chasing a fantasy of power. And get this, he praised Trump for delivering what Newsom never could: security, prosperity, and truth. Voight's message, I think, is pretty clear. Gavin blames, Trump builds, and the American people finally win. So his words aren't just rage, they're righteous fury, guys, and millions of Americans, union workers, single moms, veterans feel it. But hold up, guys, because the very thing that triggered Voight's celebration is this. But first, we got to do the math. Leslie Taylor, she saved $1,000 a year. Cecil Frith Sr., he's saving $166 a month. That's almost $2,000 a year back into his pocket, all because they called chapter. No guessing, no pressure, just the best Medicare plan for your needs and for your budget. Guys, did I mention that they're totally free? That's right, guys. They're totally free, and their aim is to get you on the best plan and save you money. Absolutely amazing combination here. Give our friends at Chapter a call right now. They're super nice and friendly. Oh, and tell them I said hello. Give them a call at 909-563-8279, or better yet, hit them up on their website at askchapter.org/Ron. If you like keeping money in your pocket, you're going to love Chapter. All right, guys, this is the moment that they swore would never, ever happen, but it did. After months of media denial, resistance from establishment Republicans, and nonstop Democrat obstruction, President Trump's one big, beautiful bill has officially passed. It's law, it's signed, and it's loaded. Here's what's inside. Permanent Trump tax cuts locked in. No tax on tips. Restaurant workers rejoice. No tax on overtime. Finally rewarding your hustle. Full expensing for factories and equipment, unleashing a manufacturing surge. We're talking tariff-backed funding so that the middle class doesn't foot the bill. And a bonus, standard deduction boosted again, helping families right where it counts. This bill did not just get passed. It got unleashed. And the results, they're already here. So here's a part that every working American needs to hear. It's not theoretical anymore. It's not coming soon. It's now. Wages are rising faster than prices for the first time in years. Let me repeat that. You may have been messing around on your phone or something like that, or yelling at the kids. Wages are rising faster than prices for the first time in years. People are seeing more money in their checks this month. Seniors on fixed incomes, they're already reporting savings on taxes and medication. I mean, heck, you want more savings, give our friends at Chapter a call. Oh, and small business owners, they're writing off new equipment in full this quarter. Even the Atlanta Fed is reporting up to 4% GDP growth in Q2. This is not just relief. This is a Trump era revival. And yet, the people who said it was impossible, the economists, the anchors, the think tank stooges, they've gone dead silent. But we're exposing those lies head on, guys. And I want to show you guys how the crowd, America's crowd, is erupting in real time. You remember the headlines? Trump's tax plan will explode the deficit. Tariffs will crush the middle class. This bill will never pass. Yeah. All of that, dead wrong. Legacy media spent months predicting economic doom, economic collapse, warning of inflation, and mocking President Trump's strategy. Meanwhile, the American economy is surging. Inflation is dropping. The stock market is running. Americans are finally keeping more of what they earn. Even the so-called experts are eating crow. CNN's economic panel, crickets. New York Times recession watch, suddenly quiet. MSNBC's meltdown, still ongoing, but now they're blaming the voters. And Democrats, they didn't just bet against the American worker. They did it on live television. They picked riots over law and order. They picked criminals over ICE agents. They picked lies over growth. And now they're watching President Trump do what they swore he couldn't do. So how are everyday Americans reacting? Well, it's not quiet. It's not polite. It's an eruption. Union workers in Ohio cheering the bill at shift change, guys. Union workers, truck drivers in Georgia posting their biggest paychecks online. Small business owners in Texas, they're already reinvesting in new equipment. Twitter, Truth Social, Facebook, it's a firestorm of celebration. People who never got a break under Biden's economy are now seeing the results with their own eyes. And even better, the loudest critics, those whiner politicians in the Senate and the House, they're getting buried by their own voters, because now it's simple. Trump delivered, Newsom lied, Voight warned us, and the people, they're now awake. So here's what really kind of started everything. Gavin Newsom didn't just miscalculate. He tried to stop the federal government from doing their job. Now, as violent ICE protests explode across Los Angeles and other blue cities, Gavin Newsom didn't double down on security. No, he actually formally requested that federal troops, ICE agents, and National Guard forces be blocked or restricted from operating in California. His excuse? That a federal presence would quote unquote escalate tensions. Is this guy a complete idiot? But I want you to ask yourself, if law enforcement is being bombarded with Molotov cocktails and frozen water bottles, who exactly does Newsom think is going to stop all that, right? The city council? TikTok influencers? I mean, seriously, right? So this wasn't about keeping the peace. This was Gavin Newsom trying to maintain political optics. He wanted California to look like it had it all under control. But meanwhile, the streets were burning down right behind him. And then all of a sudden, boom, came the bombshell ruling. The federal judge denied Gavin Newsom's request straight up. The court sided with federal jurisdiction, saying, in effect, California doesn't get to interfere with federal operations, especially during a national security event like this. So this is why right, this is being seen as a total betrayal. So this wasn't just a conservative judge. This wasn't just some right-wing courtroom. This was a system Newsom thought he owned, and it ended up turning on him. So clearly, it's a slap in the face, it's a stab in the back, and it shattered the illusion that Democrats still had control over how this ICE chaos would be handled. So the judge didn't just rule against him. He ripped the mask off the whole strategy. Gavin Newsom wasn't protecting Californians. He was blocking the cavalry. So, and what happened next? Guys, the chaos exploded. Riots got even worse. Law enforcement got hit harder, and even some Democrats started breaking ranks. So I need to talk to you guys about how this violence really escalated and how Senator John Fetterman shocked everybody with his bold stand against the mob. You do not want to miss what he said and how the party reacted. So now, after the courtroom decision hit, things didn't calm down. They exploded. In fact, ICE agents became targets in the streets of Los Angeles. Guys, we're talking fireworks being launched, frozen water bottles being hurled, Molotov cocktails lighting up intersections. Protesters were not yelling into megaphones anymore. They're tearing up sidewalks and they're throwing chunks of concrete at law enforcement. Let's be clear, guys, this is no longer a protest. This is what you call urban warfare. And it's happening in broad daylight in cities that are run entirely by Democrats who refuse to call it what it is. And while Newsom and other blue state governors played political defense, the people on the ground, business owners, parents, veterans, they're the ones paying the price. Senior citizens can't walk down the streets safely, guys. All of a sudden came the moment that shook the Democrats' base to their core, okay? Senator John Fetterman, yes, a Democrat, publicly broke ranks with his own party and called out the chaos for what it really was. He didn't mince words either. In fact, he said, I unapologetically support free speech, immigration, and peaceful protests. But that was not it. That's chaos. That's unacceptable. And he backed ICE. You heard that right, guys. A Democratic senator said, we need ICE to enforce immigration law whenever it's broken. That one moment, guys, it was like cracking the foundation of the Democrat message, guys. Suddenly, all of a sudden, the narrative wasn't unified anymore. The cracks were showing. And it proved one thing. Even the left knows it's getting out of control. But even if you thought, John Fetterman was speaking out, and that was pretty bold, which it was, wait until you hear what House Speaker Mike Johnson said next. Ladies and gentlemen, he went scorched earth accusing Democrats of siding with lawbreakers and MS-13 members. And the fallout, it hit hard. So I'm going to break down Johnson's warning, and then I want to dive into this massive voter backlash, including this huge 40-point shift among immigrant voters that could flip everything on its head. So right after Senator John Fetterman broke ranks, Speaker Mike Johnson stepped in and he didn't hold back. In fact, what he said sent shockwaves throughout Washington. Mike Johnson, he straight up accused the Democrats of choosing the wrong side of history, not just politically, but morally. His words exactly are, Democrats are making a terrible political calculation. They're siding with lawbreakers, with illegal aliens, and in some cases, even MS-13 gang members. This is not some fringe accusation. This is the Speaker of the House accusing Democrats of defending violent criminals over law-abiding citizens. And he backed it up with numbers, pointing to the riots in LA, ICE sabotage, activist-driven mayhem. All of this is now completely spiraling out of control in all sorts of different cities with progressive policies reigning those areas. So it's no longer about border policy. It's no longer about immigration reform. Now it's about survival. Comment down below if you're scared to leave your house. Some people are saying in the comments that they're scared to leave their house. They don't even want to go out anymore because they don't feel like it's safe. Are you worried about, protests or rioters starting in your city? Let me know how you guys are feeling right now. So anyway, Mike Johnson, House Speaker Mike Johnson, he made it rather clear. Democrats choose criminals over communities, and now they're paying the price. And guess what? The people are noticing. According to CNN, not Fox News, not some blog, CNN just reported that support among immigrant citizens for Democrats has collapsed by 40 points since 2020. 40 points, guys. That's not a minor dip. That is a political landslide, and it makes sense. It makes total sense. You got legal immigrants, many of them Latino business owners, watching their cities burn, watching their businesses burn, while Democrats are calling it peaceful. You got families who followed the law, built a life here, raised kids here, watching their communities get overrun by people who broke in and are now shielded by politicians who claim to care about equity. Yeah, it's insulting, and they're done. But hang on, guys, it gets even more real because I want to show you guys this raging, boiling over in Los Angeles, not just from voters, but from the very very business owners that Democrats promised to protect. We're going to head over to Capitol Hill, where 3 sanctuary state governors are about to get grilled under oath. And trust me, you do not want to miss who they're blaming when the heat turns up. So if you really want to see where the Democrat strategy is collapsing, look no further than Los Angeles, because the very people who were supposed to be their strongest allies, they're furious. I mean, I'm talking about Latino business owners, guys, immigrant families who started businesses as entrepreneurs, as sole proprietors or LLC owners, whatever the case may be. They played by the rules. They worked hard. They built stores, businesses, shops, consulting firms, and they're watching everything that they built get torched in the name of equity. And what are they getting from the politicians that they voted for? Silence. They're getting ignored. Or worse, statements like, well, the protests are mostly peaceful. So imagine watching your storefront smashed in, your restaurant being destroyed, your customers terrified, your windows being shattered, and then Hillary Clinton logs on the X and says, oh, it's peaceful. That's not just insulting, guys. That is clear betrayal. These business owners, they're saying exactly what the media refuses to admit. I came here legally. I contribute. I pay my taxes. I don't support this nonsense. They've been abandoned by the left, and they're done waiting to be rescued at this point. And so now it's not just voters demanding answers, it's Congress. This week, guys, 3 Democrat governors from New York, Minnesota, Illinois are being hauled before the House Oversight Committee to answer for the disaster they've enabled. All 3 states are sanctuary strongholds, and all 3 are facing rising crime, collapsing budgets, and community outrage, both from the left and the right. And so here's the kicker, guys. These governors aren't going to DC with a plan. They're going in with excuses. They're expected to blame the courts. They're going to blame Republicans, even blame the federal government, all while dodging accountability for the violent uprisings and backdoor benefits given to illegal immigrants at taxpayer expense. This hearing is not just political theater. This is a reckoning, and it's exposing the truth. The sanctuary state model is crumbling, and people living in those states, those are the people who are paying the price right now. But now, here's where the story completely flips, okay? Remember how Democrats used to condemn military enforcement in cities? Well, now they're begging for it. So we're going to go and break down this stunning reversal that's happening behind closed doors, why some Democrats are secretly, quietly asking for troops to be deployed in their own districts. Yeah, don't tell anybody. Yeah, guys, wait until you hear what illegal immigrant DHS just arrested, okay? Oh, and he came back and he started throwing Molotov cocktails in a so-called sanctuary city. Boy, so for the most ironic twist of all, right? The very same Democrats who screamed about militarized cities and accused President Trump of fascism for sending in federal agents, they're begging for troops. Sources are now confirming that behind closed doors, some Democrat city leaders are now requesting National Guard presence to restore orders in areas where ICE has been overwhelmed. Let that sink in. The same people who sued to keep the military out of their cities are now calling for backup. They mocked Trump for deploying troops to Portland. They called it a human rights violation. Now they want soldiers patrolling their streets because their own policies failed. This ain't leadership. This is surrender. And just when you think it couldn't get any worse, they pulled it off somehow. The Department of Homeland Security just confirmed the arrest of a previously deported illegal immigrant who was caught throwing Molotov cocktails during one of the ICE protests. You heard that right, guys. Deported once, got let back in somehow, and now trying to burn down another American city. So this isn't some hypothetical. This is political. This is not political spin. This is real. This is real. And it proves without a doubt that the Democratic sanctuary policies are endangering American lives. They protected this man once. He came back. He lit the streets on fire. And now they want troops to come in and clean it up. Unbelievable. But we're not done yet, because the final collapse is playing out right now. You got Hillary Clinton. She just called the riots peaceful in a post that's already blowing up online. Hillary Clinton's post is going viral. Let's just put it to you like that, right? New polls are coming out and they're showing 66% of Americans now support mass deportations. If you support mass deportations, you let me know. So I want to also break down how Democrats are losing the middle, how their words are fueling the fire, and why the next election may already be out of reach. Now, you want to know how out of touch the Democrat elites have become Hillary Clinton. Yes, that Hillary Clinton. She posted on social media that the California riots are peaceful. That's right, guys, peaceful. While cars are getting torched, ICE agents being assaulted, Molotov cocktails are flying through the air, Hillary is on a Twitter rage, acting like it's some yoga retreat. She got her yoga mat out in the middle of the cars getting flipped over and the Molotov cocktails being thrown in the air. She out there trying to do yoga. People are standing on top of burning vehicles wearing masks, waving foreign flags, and Clinton's calling it civil discourse. What is she smoking? No wonder voters are done listening. She's not alone either, though. Democrat leaders are also, they're so married to their failed messaging that they would rather lie to the public than admit like what's right in front of them. So let's stack them side by side, shall we? You got President Donald J. Trump delivers results, not excuses, passes historic legislation, even when the media calls it impossible, puts America first, whether it's cutting taxes, securing the border, or bringing factories back home. But then you got Gavin Newsom, blames Trump while his own city burns, fights for federal control just to save face, not to save lives, spins sanctuary policies while criminals roam free under his watch. The man signs bills that drop cash into American pockets. The other one signs off on chaos, excuses, and collapse. And now, with the crowd erupting and Jon Voight's words echoing throughout the country, Gavin Newsom's narrative doesn't just look false, it looks prophetic in reverse, because everything Voight warned about, it's happening, and everything Trump promised, he's delivering. So here we are. So this wasn't just a legislative win. This was the detonation of lies. Gavin Newsom's carefully polished image, I think at this point is pretty much shattered. His spin machine exposed. And Jon Voight, well, it turns out he wasn't angry. He was just early, because now the crowd isn't just clapping, they're marching, they're voting, they're investing, they're winning. And this movement, it's back with receipts. Trump's bill passed, cash is dropping, and Gavin, well, he's living his worst nightmare. So guys, don't forget to like, share, and drop a comment down below. Do you think Voight was right all along? And are you seeing the impact of this bill in your life right now? I want to hear you. I want to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Let me know down below, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.